a Haitian folktale this afternoon also. My name is Bruce Marcus. I am part of the group massmouth, and we are here today to acknowledge Haiti, to share some artwork and some stories with our friends from Haiti, who you will see here in the tent in front of us, behind me on the bridge. And now I would like to share this story with you, as I mentioned. Now, in Haiti, this story, by the way, I should mention, is from the book The Magic Orange Tree, a collection of Haitian folktales put together by Diane Wolkstein, who visited Haiti a couple of times in the 1970s. Now, in Haitian culture, when somebody wants to tell a story, they call out creek, to which you reply,
crack!
Wait, we'll try that again. Creek!
Crack!
Creek, creek!
Crack, crack!
Once, in Haiti, there was a young girl named Tipingee. Her mother died and her father remarried, and then he died, leaving Tipingee alone in her father's house, along with her stepmother. Now, her stepmother was a very selfish woman. She would share very little of what she earned or made with Tipingee. Well, one day the stepmother was making some sweets to sell in the marketplace when she ran out of wood to fuel her cooking fire. Well, Tipingee was at school, so the stepmother had to go out and collect some firewood by herself. She went out to the forest and she grabbed some, she didn't see firewood at first, and she had to walk a long, long way until finally she came to a place where she found some firewood, a lot of it, laying all around on the ground. And she collected the firewood, a big pile of firewood that she tied up. And she discovered that this pile of firewood was so large that she could not carry it on her head all the way back home. Now, you or I would have untied the firewood and made a smaller, more manageable bundle that we could put on our heads and carry back home. But this woman was far too greedy, too selfish. So, what she did, well, very nice on the rollerblades. Did everybody see that move? How about some applause for the guy on the rollerblades? All right.
Nice.
Like, look at him.
So this woman called out with her big bundle of firewood. She said, "Is there anybody here who could help me carry this firewood back home? There's so much of it, and I haven't any. Please, can anybody help me?" And this old man stepped forward and he said, "I can help you carry this firewood." Well, he said, "I'll help you carry the firewood, but what will you give me?" The old woman said, "I haven't much, but if you get it home for me, I'll find something that I can give to you." So the old man did. He managed somehow to get this enormous bundle of firewood on his head, and he fairly staggered behind the stepmother all the way back to the house, where he laid it down on the ground just outside the house. "Well, there," he said, "I've done as you asked me. Now, what will you give me?" And the stepmother said, "You may have, I will give you a servant girl. I'll give you my stepdaughter, Tipingee." Now, Tipingee was home at the time, and she heard her name through the window, and she looked out just where she couldn't be seen, but she could hear what was going on. And she heard her stepmother say, "Tomorrow I will send Tipingee to the well at noontime. She will be wearing a red dress. Call out to her, bring her to you, and you may take her." "Very well," the old man said, and he left. Now, Tipingee ran to her friends' houses, all of them, told them, "Tomorrow you must wear a red dress. Everybody, wear a red dress to school tomorrow." And the next day at noontime, when the old man went to the village well, he saw a little girl wearing a red dress. He saw another little girl wearing a red dress. He saw still another little girl wearing a red dress. And he called out, "Which one of you is Tipingee?" And one little girl said, "I'm Tipingee." A second little girl said, "She's Tipingee." Another little girl said, "We're Tipingee too." The old man said, "Which one is Tipingee?" And the girls all started clapping their hands and jumping up and down and chanting, "I'm Tipingee, she's Tipingee, we're Tipingee too. I'm Tipingee, she's Tipingee, we're Tipingee too." Well, the old man went back to the stepmother's house. He said, "You tricked me. You said you would give me the servant girl. Well, all the girls at the well today were wearing red dresses, and they all said that they were Tipingee." "That is impossible," said the stepmother. Go again tomorrow. I will dress her in a black dress. Call out to her, and when she comes to you, take her as your servant. Very well, the old man said. Well, Tipingee overheard this conversation also, and she ran out, and she told all her friends that they must wear black dresses the following day. Well, the next day, at noontime, he went to the village well, and what do you suppose he found? One little girl wearing a black dress, another little girl wearing a black dress, still another little girl wearing a black dress, and he said, which one is Tipingee? And one little girl said, I'm Tipingee, and another little girl said, she's Tipingee, and another little girl said, we're Tipingee too. And the girls held hands and started chanting in a circle, I'm Tipingee, she's Tipingee, we're Tipingee too. I'm Tipingee, she's Tipingee, we're Tipingee too. Well, the old man ran back to the stepmother. He said, you promised you would pay me, and instead you've given me nothing but trouble. Everything is Tipingee, Tipingee, Tipingee. You must make good on your promise. The stepmother said, go back tomorrow. I will have her dressed all in red. When you see her, call out to her. When she comes to you, keep her as your servant. Very well, the old man said, but if it happens again, I am going to come back, and I am going to take you as my servant. Well, Tipingee overheard this conversation too, and she ran to tell all her friends to dress in red the next day. And the next day, when the old man arrived at the village well, he saw one little girl dressed all in red. He saw two little girls dressed all in red. He saw three little girls dressed all in red. And he said, which one is Tipingee? And the first little girl said, I'm Tipingee. And the second little girl said, she's Tipingee. And the third little girl said, we're Tipingee too. Well, now the old man was furious. He shouted, which one is Tipingee? But the girls, they all started doing cartwheels and standing on their heads and chanting all together, I'm Tipingee, she's Tipingee, we're Tipingee too. I'm Tipingee, she's Tipingee, we're Tipingee too. Well, the old man went back to Tipingee's house, and he went to the stepmother, and he took her away as his servant. Tipingee, she showed up that night back at home, found that her stepmother was gone and never returned, and there she lived in her house with her father's belongings, alone and very happy. Thank you.